Connecting Central Texas. This is Good Morning Texas.
Half past the hour now. Good morning. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LeRae. Thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. And this morning is not too bad when you step out. Yeah. It's a little humid, but not too bad.
It's doable, Josh.
Yeah, it's doable. I mean, it's Texas. We got to get used to the humidity. It's going to be around going through the summer. You can feel it out there right now, though. Mid-60s as you look at our Clark Roofing Cam in Waco. There may be a little bit of patchy fog, but if you've been waiting to get the car washed because of the rain, today's the day to do it. No rain chances on the way. Lower 80s by noon, upper 80s later on this afternoon with the humidity. May feel like the mid-90s, but lower rain chances here today. Temperatures will be close to where they should be this time of year. 90s are normal. I've got a high of 89. We'll be like that the next few days. More rain chances on the way this weekend, though. I'll time that out for you and have a look at that full 10-day forecast coming up.
When I come to the table to negotiate, I bring numbers, data, facts. I don't walk in and say, this is a good idea.
The Texas Senate passing a property tax plan, which lawmakers are calling the biggest relief in state history.
But not everyone is happy with that decision. And 25 News reporter Nakea Simon is live in the newsroom to break this all down for us. Good morning, Nakea.
Good morning, Sharday and Joey. That's correct. The Texas Senate passed a $17.6 billion property tax plan that will increase the homestead exemption by $60,000. So it will now be at a cap of $100,000. This saving homeowners hundreds of dollars, lowering 5.72 million homeowners' tax bills across Texas. But as you just heard, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says the bill is not what homeowners expected, sharing that the Governor Abbott chose to give homeowners 50% less of a tax cut to give corporations more.
Property taxes have obviously continually gone up, as they do in many places. And part of the reason that has happened is not so much because of increasing rates, but because of increasing property valuations. For example, with all of the tech industry coming to Central Texas, it has driven the housing and business properties through the roof.
Voters will have to approve this bill on November 7th. And if it is approved, Texas homeowners could save up to $1,300 in a 2-year span. Reporting in the newsroom, Nakea Simon, 25 News.
All righty. Thank you, Nakea, for that information. And state lawmakers are also looking to make progress on border security during the first special session. The governor says he wants to increase penalties for human trafficking and drug smuggling. A bill stalled during the regular session because of a conflict between the House and Senate.
The disagreement in the House is they didn't want it under DPS or the Texas Rangers. And I said, wait a minute, what are you guys talking about? Don't want it under the Texas Rangers and DPS? Like, that's our border, that's our controlling law enforcement. You have to have an integrated network.
The governor of Texas can call for special sessions and set the agenda. The sessions can't run more than 30 days, but the governor can add items to the agenda. Now, he can also call for as many special sessions as he wants, and there doesn't have to be a break between them.
State lawmakers are getting ready to decide the fate of Attorney General Ken Paxton. Right now, he's suspended until his impeachment trial ends in the Senate. The trial will start no later than August 28th. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick will be in charge.
I will be presiding over a trial. It will be a fair trial. I'm sure there'll be witnesses. I mean, I don't know what the House will present. I don't know what the Attorney General will present, but my guess is there will be witnesses, and they will be put under oath, and they will be cross-examined, I'm sure, by both sides. And it will be a regular trial. And at the end of that trial, once the facts have laid out, the senators will vote.
Paxton's facing 20 articles of impeachment. The House is accusing him of bribery and abusing the public trust. His former employees who blew the whistle still haven't seen any of their $3 million settlement. They reached a deal in February, but Paxton wants to use public funding to pay for it. That's what triggered the House committee to investigate him, leading to the impeachment. The whistleblowers could end up suing him to get their money.
Governor Greg Abbott announcing the date for a special election to fill the seat of disgraced former state representative Brian Slayton. That election is now set for November 7th. The filing deadline is September 6th, with early voting starting on October 23rd. Now, the State House voted to expel Slayton less than a month ago after an internal investigation found he had sex with a staffer and then tried to cover it up. He's the first rep to be expelled from the Texas House since 1927.
New this morning, this little boy right here on his tricycle. Look at that guy. He's in the middle of a war zone. Imagine your kid growing up like that. Well, his parents would make a decision that would change his life. Today, he's the newest police chief in Central Texas and maybe the first from the Middle East. This morning, we're getting to know Woodway's brand new chief and the incredible life story that got him here.
Go ahead. I'll have Unit 607 out.
Meet Chief Khalil Al-Halabi, the new director of public safety in Woodway, where all 30 police officers on the force double as firefighters. Today, we're getting to know the man behind the badge and the childhood that shaped his future.
Yeah, so we had a bomb shelter behind our home.
No joke, he grew up in Lebanon during the Civil War.
A grenade landed in our front yard and it just, by God's grace, did not explode.
A close call, but not the last.
A bomb crashed through her rooftop and landed on her desk. My mom went into early labor because a jet flew above her about 40 feet and made her pass out.
After years of waiting for a green card, the whole family would get their passports to catch a flight to a better life. What's it like day one in America?
Yes, so we went to McDonald's because McDonald's represented America back then.
This humble home would be their first in Kansas. Childhood photos showing a young Khalil holding the American flag, all smiles. From a joyful arrival to sharing one of the darkest days in American history. His homeland of choice would shape his future.
I remember seeing my dad cry, and I've never seen him cry in my life, but 9/11 really broke him down. And that's when I just knew I had to do something.
Inspiring him to join the police academy in 2008.
I'd never shot a gun in my life. I didn't know. My dad was so anti because of the war.
Khalil would go from cadet to chief, all in Woodway, with so many officers finding themselves on the wrong side of the law in recent years nationwide. How do police regain public trust? It's something he now teaches at the academy.
We're faced a lot with ethical choices, and there's a right answer, and we just need to make it.
The Constitution hangs in his office, a constant reminder of the law he's sworn to uphold in a country that's given his family so much. Woodway's hiring, too. They need 5 more officers / firefighters to be fully staffed. The chief tells me in his culture, the whole family lives together. So they all moved from Kansas to Waco when his sister got accepted at Baylor. His parents owned a gas station here where he got to know the police officers who would stop by as customers, sparking his interest at a very young age. Really interesting guy.
Oh, thank you so much for bringing us that story. That was incredible.
Yeah, great to hear from him, and this morning the battle for the Republican nominations heating up, and one of the challengers is coming to Texas in 6 minutes, where Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will be stopping by to drum up support.
But first, a crucial vote today on that debt ceiling deal. But it's not a sure thing, why some lawmakers are continuing to rail against the bill.